I'm standing in the middle of a space so vast the horizon actually curves. Welcome to Strahov. If there's a place where matter has turned into pure absurdity, it's here. 63,000 square meters. That's not just a geography textbook number. That's 9 football fields stacked side by side. It's a space that could hold the entire population of a mid-sized city with room to spare. But today, there is no one. Just me, the wind howling through crumbling beams, and the feeling that this place wants to bury me alive. The great Strahov Stadium isn't a building, it's a diagnosis. It's a monumental scar on the hill above Prague, reminding us every morning that we are a nation that knows how to build giants, but doesn't know how to care for them. It's the largest stadium in the world, and, at the same time, the greatest disgrace of Central Europe. From a distance, it looks like a fortress. Up close, you see the fortress is rotting. The concrete isn't just cracking, it's dying. It falls off in chunks the size of paving stones, revealing rusted rebar that looks like the emaciated ribs of some prehistoric beast. Up here on the hill, the air is different. It smells of dust and the moisture that's been trapped in the guts of the stands for decades. It's a place where time has stopped, but not in a romantic way. It stopped like a watch on a dead man's wrist. Strahov is a silent witness to everything we've screwed up as a society. From the megalomania of the First Republic, through the twisted discipline of communism, to the total helplessness of capitalism, which has no idea what to do with this concrete because it doesn't drip instant millions. Today, I'm taking you to places you usually don't see, to places where concrete meets ruin. Because this is the 4th episode of The Buildings. And believe me, after this, you'll never look at Prague the same way again. Let's break down the legend. Strahov was built in stages. It started in 1926 as a wooden arena for the Sokol movement, a symbol of a new democratic republic. But then came the 1950s, and the people who realized that a space like this was the perfect laboratory for human obedience. The Spartakiads. That word still triggers nostalgia in older generations, but let's be real about what it actually was. It was the most expensive advertisement for totalitarianism in history. Imagine it, 250,000 people in the stands, tens of thousands of gymnasts on the field. Every movement had to be precise to the second. No individuality, only the mass. A human as a pixel in a giant red image. The communists loved this stadium because the individual got lost there. You weren't a person, you were a part of a machine. To manage it all, a labyrinth of locker rooms, showers, and tunnels was built beneath the stadium, through which crowds flowed like blood in arteries. But that blood was forced. Do you know how much sweat and how many tears soaked into this ground? People trained here in the rain, in the heat, under the watch of secret police, STB, checking if anyone looked too sour. And when it was over, the big shots up on the presidential stand toasted with cognac, congratulating themselves on how well they'd trained the people. Strahov wasn't built for sports. Sport was just a cover. It was a cathedral of ideology. And like every cathedral built on a lie, it began to decay the second those lies stopped working. Today, those locker rooms where thousands of young people once crowded are in a state of total desolation. There's mold in there with its own ecosystem, rubble, old lockers, and the feeling that these walls remember every forced command are everywhere. Walking through with a flashlight, you feel like you can still hear the thumping of thousands of feet around the corner. But it's just the echo of your own anxiety. The system that created this monster is long gone to hell, but the monster remained as an unwanted inheritance that no one asked for. Then came 1989, and everything changed. At least, we thought so. Strahov suddenly became deserted. Red gym shorts were replaced by denim jackets and long hair. The 90s were Strahov's last breath before clinical death. The Rolling Stones. August 18, 1990. 100,000 people. Mick Jagger screamed from the stage that the Stones were rolling into Prague. It was a symbol. A stadium designed to celebrate lack of freedom suddenly hosted the ultimate symbols of rebellion. Guns N' Roses came, Pink Floyd came, U2 came. Bonovox ran around here in front of a giant screen, and we thought everything would just be great from now on. That Strahov had found a new purpose. But the concerts ended, the gear was packed away, and all that remained was the gray reality. And that reality was that maintaining a stadium for 250,000 people when you use it once every 2 years is economic suicide. Strahov became the most expensive parking lot in Prague. Strange things started happening. Inside the stands, warehouses, bazaar shops, and shady workshops appeared. The monument became a squat for entrepreneurs from the East. No one knew what to do. Tear it down? Impossible. It's a protected monument. Fix it? Where do you get 50 billion crowns? So, the funniest path was chosen. Just leave it be. Look at the stands today. On the west side, a birch tree is growing with a trunk thicker than my leg. Its roots are crushing the concrete, and no one cares. On the east side, the staircase is crumbling so much it looks like a waterfall of debris. It's a bizarre sight. In the middle of this apocalypse, Sparta Prague has its training center. Top-tier grass, modern buildings, shiny cars. And all around it, decay, rot, and the threat of structural failure. It's like having a luxury bed in the middle of a burned-out house. It's a contrast that defines modern-day Prague. We can afford gold-plated handles, but we can't afford to keep our houses from falling on our heads. And now we get to the heart of the matter. Why is nothing happening? Why does the city allow the world's largest stadium to look like a scene from a post-apocalypse? The answer has 4 letters: L-A-N-D. Strahov isn't just concrete. Strahov is a lucrative hill with the best view of Prague. If those stands miraculously disappeared, the price of those plots would shoot into the stratosphere. We're talking about tens of billions of crowns. And that's the trick. There is a term called managed decay. It's a strategy where the owner, in this case the city, invests just enough so it doesn't literally collapse on passers-by, but otherwise lets time and weather do their work. It's a silent war against preservationists. They're waiting for the moment a structural engineer comes and says, "Gentlemen, I'm sorry, but the structure is now dangerous to its surroundings. We must tear it down." And in that second, developers will rush in with ready-made projects for luxury residences, apartments for the top 1%, and wellness centers. It's the same model as in Písnice, which I talked about last time, only on a much larger scale. In Písnice, it was about ordinary people's apartments. Here, it's about the nation's memory. But for the system, there's no difference. Money doesn't stink whether it flows from a block of flats or a monumental stadium. They don't want to fix Strahov. They want Strahov to cease to exist. But they can't say it out loud. So they feed us talk about searching for a strategic partner and feasibility studies. While the studies are being written, the concrete continues to crack. And you are paying for all of it. Your taxes go toward temporary scaffolding, security guards watching over ruins, and lights in hallways where no one walks. It's a black hole for money that only serves to delay the inevitable end. And that's what pisses me off the most: the fakery. The game of heritage protection, while behind the scenes, they're carving up the bear before it's even dead. If you don't take care of what belongs to you, and this stadium belongs to all of us, you will lose it. Just like your savings, if you leave them to the mercy of the system. That's why I remind you about Patron Go in every video. Not because it's an ad, but because it's a tool to avoid being a victim of this game. Watch your money, because those at the top already have a plan for how to get it from you. The sun is starting to set, and Strahov is sinking into shadow. At this hour, it looks even more terrifying. It's like a giant corpse that refuses to decompose. I walk past the presidential stand. Masaryk sat here, Benish, then Gottwald and Havel. All these men believed they were building something lasting. And look at it now. crumbling plaster, smashed windows, and graffiti on marble. It's a lesson in humility for anyone who thinks they are more than time. Strahov is dying undignified. If they at least blew it up in one massive explosion, there would be some catharsis, some ending. But this slow rot, it's torture. It's like watching your own history fall apart before your eyes and being unable to do anything about it, just standing and watching. But you know what? Maybe it's right this way. Maybe we need Strahov exactly in this state, as a warning, as a memento of what happens when pride meets indifference. Every crack in this concrete is one unfulfilled promise. Every rusty pipe is proof that we, as a society, failed to care for what we were given. Strahov is a mirror of Prague. It's a mirror of us all. With this, we end our journey through the sins of Prague. Next time, we'll leave the capital and head to where the ruin is felt even more in the air. Poldy Kladno. An iron heart that stopped beating and left behind only toxic soil and rusted halls. It will hurt, but we must go there. Thank you for watching. Next Friday we are going to Poldy Kladno.